Hey guys, it's me, Spire. Welcome to 4PlayerAnimecast. This is the second show of 2017. It's the 28th of January, and this is episode 61. So, we have all the regulars here with you today, and we're about to cover the second round of shows that we watched from the winter 2017 season. How are you doing, Nier?
Um, my food's burnt.
Oh, okay. Well, burnt food's still better than some of the series we'll be
Take
seeing
it
this season.
outside and freeze it, then it's all good.
Yeah.
That's how it works, yes. Dark?
Hey,
All right, everybody's pretty low energy today. Toast.
What?
You just come back.
I'm not low energy. I just saw a movie.
What? All right, well I'll ask. What
Was it
movie
your
did you watch,
name?
Toast?
I watched Rogue One. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Hey, I saw that too. It's alright.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice. I just wish it didn't do the whole like the ending part was a
Why are
little
you
bit
talking about
much.
Rogue One, Spire?
I
This
saw
is an
I saw
anime.
I saw the ending coming from like a mile away, but I was still like,
Yeah, I mean it's like
they,
when
they didn't they didn't really need to drag this out as long as they did.
when half the cast went through it, through like the middle
Yeah.
and like 3 quarters,
It's
you're
like
just like, I guess this is
boom,
coming up, yeah.
boom,
But
boom,
yeah.
boom,
And then you're just like
boom.
at the end, you're just like, yeah, I guess this is happening. Like,
Oh,
I
I
guess
guess this is happening.
I think I
Whatever.
know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it yet, but
Mhm.
if it is what I think it was very like the actual process was pretty slow. I hear, and
Yeah,
that's kind of cool
Yes.
to me because that's kind of like how I imagine it would be.
yeah. I mean, like, it's not like all. Well, some of them were pretty random, but it's like,
Yeah.
overall, it made sense. It was just a little bit overblown because they kind of had to tie. They wanted to really tie back to the lore, and they sort of, I guess, they wanted to make it as smooth as possible without really affecting what they
Yeah.
wrote out before in like the original. So I guess, I mean, I understand that. But anyways, so
Asian Jedi man was pretty cool.
Asian Jedi man, fucking Donnie Yen, man. All right, so
Nice
we're
anime talk, guys.
yeah, Star Wars is very anime, dude. But yeah, anyways,
See you next week.
Oh, yeah, bye.
uh, so again, we like individually like watched some different shows, but there were like a couple that I think are getting some more note than others, and one of them we'll cover today, and that's Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon, or I believe the full name is Kobayashi-san. Like in English, it's like a Kobayashi-san's Maid Dragon or something like that. Like I think, or yeah, I think that's it. Um, so uh, just a real quick recap. It's like a series where relatively episodic, slowly growing cast, slice of life with some sort of like surreal supernatural stuff going on. It's like Nichijou at times where it's like there's some like surreality going on. But overall, there's a female office worker. Her name is Toru, and uh, a Toru Kobayashi. And one day, like a dragon visits her, and it's like, what? And the dragon came because she helped the dragon out in her time of need while she was drunk, and so that dragon becomes a maid for her because the main character is super obsessed with maids. And then from there on, the cast evolves. They have these fun interactions. It's generally like a very like comedy focused, and these things sort of happen. Of course, there are other supernatural beings, humans, whatever, that come along and cause this sort of thing. And a lot of people are also calling it relatively very like sort of not meditative. I think meditative. A lot of people are using that word. I think it's not exactly right. I think it's reflective, very reflective. But again, that sort of creates a different tone. Dark here has also seen and read quite a bit of it. It is a manga original. Uh, I believe the author's name is Kyoshinsha, I think. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, what do you think about Dark?
Well, so far the show's been pretty much straight adaptation. I think they've taken like some liberties with certain scenes just to like make them
Yeah,
make
and they
sense
switched
together.
around some like the chapters and stuff like
Yeah, they've switched around some stuff, which is fine.
that. Yeah.
So far, I'm really liking it.
Mhm.
I think I think there's only one more character that needs to be introduced that hasn't yet, and I think that's the last character that's getting introduced this season. Of the
Yeah.
dragons, that is.
Yeah.
Because there are some more that were introduced in the manga, but even like up to what I read, I don't think they're going to get to that in the first season because, if I'm not mistaken, they had only just gotten to that like maybe half a year ago or something.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to actually get to that, but I mean, so far it's been really good. I'm really liking it. I say it's really good in the sense that like I'm liking that I get to see this show that I like animated now. Um,
But then we
in
have
the
to talk about like
sense of like,
audio visuals. I think.
yeah, I mean the audio visuals are obviously like they're good, but it's not.
It's
It's nothing like.
we were talking about it. It's JC staff good. It's not Kyoani good.
It's not
Which the
Kyoani.
studio is Kyoani. Although the director is the same one who did Haruhi, I believe. Yeah. So yeah. Again, it's not. It's still living in the shadow of Kyoani, right? Like is what we're talking about. But it's not.
I mean, it's a Kyoani show. It's going to be compared to other Kyoani shows.
Yeah, I know, but it's always kind of like that, right? Like, like if you think about it, nothing like JC staff. Like, let's say JC staff makes something. Nothing's like nobody's gonna compare that to like Index, right, or anything like that,
Yeah,
right?
Dark, don't compare to
Sure.
No. But I'm
But
not saying it in like a whole like we
I
shouldn't
think
like
it's
judge it
I
like
think
that.
it's
But
more
it's like
Keyworks. You know?
yeah,
Like Key comes out with something new, you're gonna compare it to the old shit.
because like the style is very iconic to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny how it's like Kyoani like kind of created that for themselves. Although, in my opinion, their sort of iconic sort of thing, their brand is a little bit more flexible than something like Shaft or Trigger or whatever. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's like Shaft style, especially in the Akiyuki Shimbo era, and the sort of like the two other directors too. But those two other directors are also heavily involved in other studios like Silverlink. But especially in the Shimbo era, it's very obvious like what their sort of audiovisual directorial influence kind of branding is, right? But
Fucking
but it's not necessarily always super like that with Kyoan. So I think that's why I kind of find it interesting because it is more flexible, and then it's still kind of there's always that lurking shadow.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Kyoani's maybe less of a brand and more of like a seal of approval. Since
now it's more of a seal than anything else, is what you're saying.
I mean, it should be a seal of quality considering how fucking they do a goddamn contest and shit to pick their fucking series.
Yeah, and then they don't
But,
give anybody first place.
Yeah, they don't
For
give
like 3
anybody
years.
awards. And
Yeah, for like 3 years.
by the way, we're animating this.
It's like so like asshole-ish, like in a sense if you think about it. It's like, yeah, we didn't find like anybody like good enough. It's not even like it's not like they had like goals. It's like they had like the competition is literally like who is the best one, right? Like it's not like they have to give the anime adaptation to that first place, right? It's like they didn't have anything in that contest. But it's like to be like, nah, none of you guys are good enough to even get first place. Everybody gets honorable mentions.
Hey, listen, I still think that it's all a fucking scheme, and they don't give anything first place so that no one else takes the adaptation first.
Yeah,
They set up
yeah.
they set up the competition to get all these
mean,
things.
We mentioned that the last time they had the competition.
yeah, exactly. When it
They
came out.
they don't give the first place prize to anybody because they're doing like they're secretly being like, hey, we'll animate this, by the way.
Yeah, but it's like we can't give you a super good contract because you got honorable mention.
Because you're like you're okay,
like second place.
like, but we'll animate it for you.
Yeah, that's why like all of like the super like good series from like Kyoani have all been honorable mentions and shit, right? Like Kyoko they didn't win, they got an honorable mention and shit.
Yeah.
Like But yeah, enough about. Sorry for bringing up the Kyoani talk so hard during Maid Dragon, but it was a heavy subject
I
during our
mean, I
preview.
think it's pretty important, especially since Maid Dragon's kind of like boring looking, you know?
Yeah, and then like there was, I think Violet Evergarden was announced before Maid Dragon, right? I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it might not have
those-
been. I don't know if it was announced before,
It was.
but we saw its PV, like its first thing. But
Yeah,
long
exactly.
before it.
Yeah. First, like sort of staff announcements and stuff like that. Yeah, like all the very like the bigger details. But yeah, either way, so we did talk about how it's mainly sort of a straight adaptation. So just a little bit like on the series itself, just like the material. Uh, what do you think about that? Like, does it sort of, I guess, live up to the hype, sort of the reflection and the chill like slice of life kind of thing, or do you think it's a little bit standard or what?
I mean, I think it's more than standard. Just because like the series itself, if it was more standard, the series like would have, um, what's her name? Kobayashi would be like significantly more resistant or detached. I guess I'd want to say like.
Uh,
The thing is like by episode 3, like she admits to one of Toru's friends that like she actually enjoys having them around, and it's like, I, you, it wouldn't be it's can't. I wouldn't really say it's a standard series just because of that, and even like the more bigger story elements of the fact that like once she gets Toru and like Kana in the same house, she's like, I need to get a new apartment because this is way too small for 3 people.
yeah.
So it's like that's like a lot of commitment that you really feel like don't see from characters in other series.
What do you mean by that? Like, does a house like in? You mean like? What do you mean by like commitment? As in like like willingness to change the
Yeah.
context or the setting? I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean like story wise, like the willingness of a character to just be like, okay, well, this is my life now. I'm just going to completely change everything to suit it.
Oh, okay. So
Like
it's like really accepting the fact that I'm with Maid Dragons wholeheartedly.
yeah, it's like I'm not.
I'm
Well,
not just
'cause
living
it
my
just-
life and there's a Maid Dragon.
Yeah,
not like that.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean. Like it's not
Okay.
like she's like, all right, well, I'm living in the same apartment. It's kind of crowded. We have 3 people in here now.
Yeah.
But this is
oh
my
well,
life
yeah.
still. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll move out or something. It's like, nah, we're just gonna live together now. I guess I'll get a new apartment.
Yeah.
So
It's it is very interesting how it's like they they have a decent amount of dragon trivia and it like leads into how they interact with everybody. Especially the lighter cast and how I guess Kobayashi and herself is how, or sorry, the main dragon, the Toru, right, the first main dragon, how they interact. But what I kind of like about Maid Dragon is the fact that um, it's introspective, but it's not like it's introspective / retrospective, but it's not like
Is it
the
introspective by saying we're all made dragons on the inside?
yeah. The main character doesn't really like she takes things in a stride, but it's not like a super like positive like yeah, well we can all live together, we blah 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 like we can all do this like determination whatever. It's not really like that. Like although it could very well be at certain points, right? Like it could have turned out like that, because there are parts where it's like there are conflicts and stuff, but it's more just like yeah, I don't have time for this, and we might as well shake hands and just let's go for it, kind of thing. Like there are positive parts, but a lot of it's like, yo, chill out. I like need to get back to work. Like, could you not do this in front of my house, kind of thing. So I kind of like that part of it somehow. It's very like she has the maid dragon thing, but she also like tries to do the author really tries to mix it in with the fact that like she is an office worker. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It might not be. That's not like Well, I mean, it has sort of been a little bit apparent in the first 3 episodes, but it's like as time goes on, it gets even more so. Especially once the fourth female dragon gets
The one with the horn. I mean,
introduced.
the
Yeah,
the
like
head
the
horn.
one,
Yeah, the front.
yeah,
Yeah,
the one like the one horn.
yeah.
Because she winds up. Spoiler alert: she works in the same office. It's in the fucking OP. So don't worry.
Yeah. But I really do like how that all ends up, and it's actually pretty funny because it's like they give it's almost like 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 the artist kind of knows what he's doing because it's like he adds sort of the quote unquote pseudo like quasi lesbo kind of parts in it, right? But it's very like cutesy in a sense. It's very like overblown. It's not like it is not like fucking soccer trick or anything there where it's like they're just kissing or doing whatever, right? It's like like freaking Toru, like the first dragon, just like crashes into the door and it's like I want a hug or something like that, right? Like those.
Well, it's. I feel like there's two different ones. There's like that one, but there's also a lot more like calmer moments too. Especially
Yeah,
like in episode 3, I guess would be my example. Would be they're like talking and Toru's like sitting next to Kobayashi and they both fall asleep and it's like I don't know. They just have like this conversation about each other and like that stuff too is I guess there's like sort of an interplay between the two, like a complete overblown and then just like a really not really subtle because you can see what's going on, but like a
right.
calmer one.
Yeah, where it's like they are letting the dynamics scale to something that's more slice of life instead of dragons.
Yeah.
Ah, get it? Because dragons have scales.
Yeah, dude. That's what her uniform's made out of.
Fucking kill me. But yeah, any last comments on main dragon?
Her tail's too fat. It's gross. Grosses
Chop
me
it
out.
off and eat it.
If it wasn't though, then she wouldn't be able to feed it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for nutrients, dude.
I think my last comments for it would be just despite all of like what we kind of said at the preview, like being sort of apprehensive of about the visuals and stuff like that, and like we did compliment the series itself, but I don't think we were like super like keen on it. But I think in comparison to that, what we said, it is still a very solid KyoAni series. I don't know whether like I have doubts on whether it'll become like a one of those KyoAni masterpieces, like classics, but I definitely do think it's surprisingly
It won't be.
There's no way because like the problem is like almost anyone like any studio could fucking do this.
Yeah.
There's like what are the things that like say KyoAni when you look at it?
KyoAni
It's
lucked out
like
with Kobayashi. Yeah,
the
that's-
intercut with the arrows and like the dual tone hair. It's like
Yeah.
there's your fucking signifier for KyoAni, and that's all
Yeah.
you're getting.
KyoAni did luck out with the series, but I do think it is I do think it is a solid series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have like the thing is like I don't really have any complaints other than like I just wish like KyoAni would have done a lot more with it. Like I have no complaints about the series itself. It's just the fact that KyoAni got pretty fucking lazy with it.
Yeah. Oh.
So Violet Evergarden better be like the most
Violet
visually fucking
Evergarden
beautiful
is going
thing.
to kill me if it's not.
If Violet Evergarden's bad, then
I'm going to like explode
I
like
don't
in front
think
of the monitor.
I don't think I can be excited for KyoAni series anymore.
Yeah, it's over.
Because it's like at that point it's like we got that, then we got Maid Dragon, and then what was
Because
it? Phantom World.
what's the track record been? Free, Hibiki,
Hibike Euphonium, free.
Tamako, into
Kamako,
Kyokai no Kanata was before free, right?
Wait, Kyokai no. Okay, I'm gonna look
series.
this up. Sorry, we need to look this up.
Yeah, I wanna know the exact I wanna know the actual track record.
I want to know the dates. I want to know where they are, the staff.
Yeah,
I want to
because
hunt them down. All right, so
know.
this is
KyoAni hasn't really impressed me since like Hyoka.
All right, so this is how do we do this? Okay, after Hyoka, it was Chunibyo, then Tamako Market, then Chunibyo movie, I believe.
Yeah.
Movie. Then it was Free. Then it was Tamako movie. Then it was Amagi Brilliant Park.
Tamako
Then
movie being worse than the series.
yeah, then it was Kyokai no Kanata movies. Then it was, I believe, Hibiki Euphonium, the Free movie,
Then
and
Phantom
then
World.
yes, Phantom
And
World,
then
then Phantom World,
Hibiki
and another Hibiki movie, and
It's like,
then
fuck, man.
Hibiki 2, and then Koi no Katachi. So Koi no Katachi was essentially their saving grace, and even Koi no Katachi was a better pick than it was them, like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was more than be like, oh, this series is freaking really good, like, like
Wow. It's free.
yeah, this is like just giving us money right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's high stakes. Although Free did give them so much money to work with. Like,
Yeah,
let's be real here.
Free gave them a lot of money, but it didn't give them my respect.
Yeah.
They haven't seemed to do a lot of great things with it. So
All right. So moving on. The next series. I think. This I just kind of want to get out of the way before people shout at me. It's I just wanted to give a quick coverage of Saren, I think. Uh, oh, Prince of the Universe and Chad says, have they talked about Tanya? We've gone over a little bit. I've watched like the first episode and like I've read.
I cannot bear to watch Tanya.
The issue is what we said is that Tanya is like a very unique story, which I do like. But I think from what I've seen in the previews and stuff like that, I do think that they change sort of like some of the tone from the light novel original to the anime, and a lot of Near and Dark have some things to say about the
It's
other
fucking
visuals.
hideous.
Some things to say about the
nah,
visuals.
looks great, dude. Those lifts are amazing.
But yeah, I think it is one of the sort of hidden gems in terms of plot, at least, for the season. But other than that,
Maybe if you
Go,
read
like,
the
read
manga or
fucking
the
anime
light
or
novel.
manga.
yeah, that is true. But anyways, that's sorry.
Please don't watch Tanya.
Yeah.
Please read the source material.
But yeah, that's just what we had to say about it. But anyways, I just wanted to cover Saren really quickly. Saren is the sort of omnibus. Omnibus is a term I like to use when I say like there's multiple, like mainly focusing on something like rom-coms, but they split each section of like the season. Like let's say there are 12 episodes in the season, and they have 3 episodes each dedicated to a different route or like a different timeline or something like that. That's what I would call an omnibus series. So Saren is an omnibus series, directed at Studio Gokumi. Studio Gokumi known for their work and stuff like Kinira Mosaic, Saki's all the Saki spin-offs, 8 channel, like all these like cutesy kind of things, right? Nakaimo, really, Yuki Yuna, stuff like that. But it is directed also by Tomoki Kobayashi. I believe one of the people working on it, I forget, was Kisai Takayama. Yeah, Kisai Takayama is the series composition, and he was the person behind Amagami and like Photokana, I believe. So like sort of the archetypical late 2000s rom-com sort of series, right? The very cheesy dating sim kind of thing. And now it's more monoform series.
Anime.
Golden age. Anime stopped being better around 2011. that was the quote, right? Like that was the peak of anime or something like that.
So when anime was
At its
murdered.
best. Yeah. Then it just all declined from there. But yeah. like I'm gonna spell it out right here, and I don't think this is too much of a surprise to those who have been watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, but I am a fan of Amagami. I'm not gonna say Amagami is a great
The
series.
best series of all time.
Best series of all time. I'm not gonna say Amagami is a great series, but I am just like a fan of its waifus and stuff like that, and how kind of like cheesy and how sort of how heavily it kind of brings in the sort of nostalgia kind of thing. So this is something I was actually talking with Dark. You know how in like America, for example, or I guess like less generally, but I'll make the examples more specific to America. So it's like how in America sometimes like movies and stuff bring in nostalgia by showing these sort of like by putting the setting in like these 80s suburbs, or maybe if they have to go much further back, they do some sort of like weird like Route 66 stuff, right? Or they do some farmland horse plus wagons, stuff like that, right? Civil War or whatever era. So that sort of stuff evokes this sort of setting based nostalgia, right? Like, oh, this is America, or this was America, or whatever, right? That sort of thing. That sort of very setting based nostalgia, where it's like very cozy like Japanese household kind of stuff. Those are evoked very heavily in these sorts of dating sim games, and especially so in Amagami. So it's this sort of like instinctive thing, where more than anything else, where it's like I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh, well, this is this is like a dating sim, I guess. But then like what I'm feeling through this sort of thing, where I'm seeing these like households and like this very cozy thing, and like like the main protagonist, as hapless as he is walking through, and he's holding the girl's hands, and doing all these like very cheesy stuff. It evokes this like sense of nostalgia in a sense, and I call it this Asian nostalgia. Is sort of how I'd say. I think that's what I said, Dark, right? Like when we were having this conversation.
Yeah,
Very oriental.
Oriental. But this series is a little bit. I don't know. I would. How do I say this? If you're a fan of rom-com, I would sort of recommend watching Amagami, just because it is like a step on the way to creating a fuller list of like what you watched. But I wouldn't recommend Siren, just because it's very like it's very focused on the girls and like less on anything else. And what I mean is that like it's not even like the MC is like hapless. Where how it's like in rom-coms, people are always complaining about, oh, the harem MC is so dumb. He won't get anything. Like that sort of stuff. It's not even like that. Like he probably gets some of the stuff, or he like overreacts, does like the usual like Japanese beta male thing, right?
Ooh, ah.
But it's more just like the interactions with him, like the interactions that the MC has are like not with like the girls, or with with the girls, are like not very meaningful. So it's like these things are happening. Like he's talking to his sidekick, and his sidekick's like, yeah, let's go to the camp, and so the setting switches to camp or something like that. And then throughout all these episodes, the point is that like he develops these interactions with Hiron, like for that sort of part of the omnibus, right? The first section of the omnibus, the first route, and then he's supposed to develop this relationship and then go out and do whatever, right? And then there's the epilogue. But it doesn't matter what kind of interactions he has with the heroine. She's just like getting closer and closer. Like regardless of like what's happening, so he's just like sitting in his room, and then like suddenly like she like barges in, and then they just have some like talk, like, oh, like freaking, I'll buy you a drink at the vending machine. And then boom, it's like,
Why are you in my
episode,
house?
yeah, boom. Next episode, they're like super close to each other. I'm just like, like where was this sort of development coming from? Like, can we have like some sort of sensible relationship pacing or like interactions or anything, or is it just we got 3 episodes. It's time to get this. It's time to get this heroine out of the way. We need her to like raise flags, make babies. So that kind of really bothered me, and I think the interactions were a little bit more sort of back and forth, sensible, sort of up and down in terms of oh, if the MC says something kind of dull or something bad, like bad things could happen, or the relationship could be like, are you really doing that kind of stuff? Like that thing, like sort of happened in Amagami, but it was much less so in Siren, which is kind of bothersome because of the implication that he thought these changes could work in this modern day and age. You know what I mean? And that's kind of worrying because that means he's just like, oh well, as long as I just make the girls like okay, and like the MC can do whatever the hell he wants, like interactions, personalities, whatever, it's fine. Like just focus on the girls, and the girls themselves are like whatever, like their personalities aren't bad. But that's kind of worrying to me. So I just wanted to like kind of take the time out to like point that out and cover Sarah just a little bit because if that sort of thing goes on in other series, in other rom-com series, I'm gonna be really, really sad. Like I'm
Do you
gonna
think? Do you think because it's a 12-episode series, that they're just rushing it?
I think that's definitely a part of it. The original Amagami was 24 episodes.
Yes.
Amagami SS Plus, the season after it, that covered sort of the after stories, quote unquote, was 12 episodes, and it completely messed up the pacing. And I believe there are, how do I say this? There's I don't know how many girls there are. There are like at least 5 or so girls, or 5 or 6 girls, right? So there's maybe like 2 or 3 episodes per girl, something like that. So it's like the pacing's gonna be super messed up. So I don't know. It's kind of messed up. But more than just the series, I just wanted to point that out, and just it's like a worrying trend for me. So I hope it doesn't continue, but whatever.
12-episode series suck.
Yeah.
Bring back 28 episodes.
I mean, it's the whole point is like they're always cutting corners, right? It was especially bad in years 2011 through 2013. Like if we're talking about more recent years, right? Although like the years before they had some weird stuff, but it was much more flexible. Like before 2010 or whatever, where it's like they were just doing, there were like 36 episode like seasons for whatever reason and stuff like that, like 28 or weird stuff. But now before in 2011 2013 there were like all this weird stuff where it's like people were trying out like 11 episode series or like 9 episode series with 2 OVAs bugged with the BD DVD. Like I was just like, dude, just like I hate you so much right now. Like don't do that to me, all right? Like this is not even remotely funny. So I think it's much better now, but it's still, because it is, as you said, relegated to this 24 episode thing, and unfortunately it did not get 24 episodes, so who knows. But yeah, that was just like a shout out. Also, we are going to talk about ACCA. I mean, I've watched ACCA. Nier, I believe, is going to try to watch it.
I want to watch it. Yes.
Yeah.
I mostly want to watch it because it's fucking
I think I gave a quick overview over it about it last episode. But essentially, what I wanted to say about that before we go into super in-depth discussion about ACCA next episode, when hopefully Nier has watched it, is that assuming like the summary where it's like there's like an inspection bureau who inspects like all the different like office stuff like that, tries to check out corruption, blah blah blah, and the main guy, Sean, who is voiced by Shimono Hiro, who is pretty funny, Shimono Hiro, the eternal voice actor, the dude that always ends up voicing, the main protagonist that's always like the butt of all jokes and stuff like that, like the silly dude, right? They actually apparently had in the news that was like he has the eternal like virgin voice or something like that in Japan or something. and all people saw like in like the headlines was like he is the eternal virgin or something like that. Like half the time in like internet news sites. So everybody, so he's just like, all right. So this news just like all anybody's seeing this is just like, oh, I'm just an eternal virgin. Like,
God.
but anyways, being voiced, this cool dude being voiced by Shimona Hiro, definitely fitting. But it's what I would say is that it's more detective series and mystery series. Again, we've delineated the differences before, where it's like detective mystery is like, oh, there's a mystery, audience can kind of get into it and stuff like that. Detective, it's like, oh, this thing, this is a mystery, and I solved it using my super cognitive powers, and then I blah blah blah, and then they just like vomit out the solution or whatever. And that part's not too bad. Obviously, this is only the first couple of episodes. What I would like to say is that, they are doing like the cool thing like decently well, like, oh, I'm like smoking and like there's all this like background like jazz and all this stuff like that. Like that's not too bad.
I like
Yeah.
I like the music from the PV that I heard.
Yeah. I think the theme is setting it pretty well. And what they're kind of trying to do is trying to balance that sort of thing, like the visual sort of like festa, I guess. The mystery sort of bureau corruption overarching plot kind of thing. And then the sort of, I guess, the deeper. I think they'll do the third thing, which is like the deeper, like gray moral stuff, like what is right. How do we really, should we really let some things go and other things, blah blah blah, like white lies, all of that bullshit. They'll probably go into that soon, right? I kind of do want them to balance out those factors pretty decently, because I think it'll be the best series if it does balance that out instead of trying to focus too much on some of the stuff. And especially since I think that if they focus on doing the plot thing too hard, I think it won't be as good. Not because like they can't make the plot, but because making the plot and doing all that setup is based upon them really selling the detective part of the series to us. Well,
Yeah.
the whole like, oh, I found out all this corruption, blah, blah, which is kind of hard to sell like regularly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First couple of times, Shimona Hiro is like, yeah, this is obvious. Like, check this data. Like this corruption thing is super obvious. And then 30 seconds later, the criminals are just like sweating this shit, like fucking sweating bullets. That sort of stuff for like a couple of episodes. But other than that, I think it's pretty nice. I do hope that they focus on the cool side more and less the whole like detective side. That's we can talk more about that next episode.
Yeah, when I've seen it.
Yeah. So moving on, we're going to cover news and then do our shouts and callouts. We don't have too many news these past couple of.
Thanks for asking me what anime I've seen this week.
I asked
Didn't
you
ask
about the
me
freaking
what
movie,
that
dude.
thing.
That's what you said, right? That's what...
Along with Rogue One, I also watched this new anime movie that came out yesterday.
That's why I asked you about the movie at the beginning of the podcast.
You started talking about Rogue One, and I was
Because
patiently-
you brought up Rogue One.
I did not say anything after that, though. I was waiting.
You were like, oh,
patiently.
I watched the
God.
movie, and we were like, well, what was
Yeah,
it? And you were like, oh, it's Rogue One.
I watched Rogue
Instead of
One,
bringing
and
up
then
the fucking anime movie on the anime.
I said I watched Rogue One. Then I did not say anything afterwards. That was all you guys. I was
Duh,
waiting so I could be like,
But
I
why
also.
was that the first movie you bring up on the fucking?
Because you told me, okay, he told me before, like, the podcast, like, oh, I watched, blah, 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 this movie. And I was just like, oh, I Googled it, and I was like, oh, it's a movie. So that's why I was like, I explicitly was like, oh, what movie did you watch, Toast? And then you said Rogue One, and I was like, what?
Then I was going to say I also watched this movie, but then you guys went on.
Then why didn't you interrupt us?
Because that's rude.
Oh my god.
I hate you so much.
That would be rude of me, man. It's called manners.
Oh my god. Alright, Toast, what other movie did you watch?
I also watched the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie that came out, Dark Side of Dimensions.
Some, like, people got free cards or whatever it was?
Yeah, man. If you watch it in theaters, you got this sweet obelisk card, movie edition.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that with the first movie? Or one of the earlier
They
movies?
do.
Yeah.
They did it with like
they
every
do it
other
with every
movie.
movie.
Like you get like a shiny card or something. I mean, anyways, did you like it, Toast?
Do you want me to? Do you want me to talk about it? Because I'll talk about it.
Give
It's
us a
a
quick, summary of your opinions on the thing. We don't need
Well,
like a recap, just your opinions.
it takes place after the events of the original series, so this is like a direct sequel
Okay.
to the manga.
How'd you find it?
I liked it. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's got sweet budget graphics, and it is the longest of. It is the longest Yu-Gi-Oh movie to date. The other ones, Pyramid of Light was like 100 minutes. Bonds Beyond Time was barely 50 minutes. This
I think
one
I
is
actually watched that Yu-Gi-Oh movie for some. I don't know like why I watched it, but I ended up watching it for some reason, and it was like way back when. But that was an interesting experience.
I don't
But
know
anyways,
what's going on here.
yeah. Why am I so stuck in this Yu-Gi-Oh movie?
But yeah, Bonds Beyond Time is 130 minutes. That's 2 hours. That means we got in a lot of duels in this movie. Saw some sweet new cards.
so, but okay, you say a lot of duels, but don't they usually only end up having like two duels? I remember like Pyramid of Light only having like two
There's two
duels and
main
like
duels, yeah. It
two
was
duels and like huge amounts of flashbacks.
Was
Like,
Pyramid of Light the like pretty old one that
it's the very first Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
was that the one where you got the special blue eyes in it, like
Blue Eye Shiny?
the
or
like ultimate
yeah, the
blue eyes?
Shining,
Yeah.
whatever, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Dragon.
Wow, how do you know that, nerd?
Me?
Like, I
I
totally-
fucking saw that movie in theaters.
Yeah, yeah, because the Dark Knight was saw that. Anyways, so it
But
was pretty
yeah,
good despite budget animations, I guess.
really budget. It's a direct sequel to the events of the manga, so like I was surprised at the amount of people who came to watch it. There was like you'd expect little children and whatnot, but no, there's people our age going in and watch it who are fans of the original series.
Yeah, because who the fuck watched the original series? That's a kid at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like they
Yeah.
gotta dig that up.
All right.
If you're, I'll just say this: if you're a fan of the original series, you definitely want to watch this movie because it's a sequel, and you get to see your old fan favorites with Kaiba and Yugi duking it out.
Why isn't Obelisk blue anymore?
He is.
Oh yeah, Obelisk
No, his
was,
card's
like,
not
red in his
blue.
card or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the special illegal god card. They made tournament legal ones that are just effect monsters now. So now they're
Alright.
playable.
Alright.
My
Well,
my favorite card in the movie was
Oh my god, shut up.
the
alright. What's your
Gandora X.
Pot of Greed. My favorite card.
Alright. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie, Toast. I mean, despite it apparently having a bunch of visuals, but yeah, if you do want to check it out, I believe the movie is called Dark Side of Dimensions. I think you said it was.
It's called Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions is the movie, so check
Just
that out.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Just Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
You have to find out which one. you have to figure out which one.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side Dimensions. It's out in theaters, limited screening. If you watch it, you get the special edition Obelisk card, and it's a
Alright.
very long Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. You get to see the movie cards in it, like that sweet Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon, or that new
Alright.
Dark Magician art.
Alright, well, moving on to news. First piece of news. Again, we don't have that many news this time around. Also, good thing we don't have too many like people news in terms of like people kind of like passing away or anything like that. But anyways, first piece of news. Pretty interesting. An anime named Action Hearing Cheer Fruits follows girls who revive fruit growing area.
Sorry, what?
The TBS television network opened a website to announce the original television anime Action Hero and Cheer Fruits. The local hero fighter of a certain city became popular and a national star. Because of this, local quote-unquote local heroes, is this like local dolls, like local idols and stuff like that? Local heroines debuted in various other places, and their action live events became a hit trend nationally. Blah blah. The anime is set in Hinano City, a tranquil area that cultivates fruits, but has lost its vitality. For the town she loves, high school girl Misaki Shirogane and other girls become local heroines at the urge of Misaki-san, the prefectural governor, and vow to produce action live events. The teen story depicts our strenuous efforts to revitalize our town. Wait. So what does the action live events have to do with cultivating fruit? Oh, they're just doing it for their town, I guess?
Isn't it just like a Sentai thing?
Yeah, they just want to
Just like
do
whatever.
Sentai events for their town or whatever. This is so weird. Like the artwork is like not bad, but it's like the series. Okay.
How are you
If you
how you gonna have that without a road show, dude?
yeah, but if you like girls doing local idol Sentai stuff,
If you like
and
fruit.
yeah, fruit. It's like that Gainax tomato thing. Oh, they should have Gainax should have made this and then used it to sell their tomato stuff.
Dude, when's the crossover with Kamen Rider Gaim?
Oh my god. Common ripe as tomatoes.
I wonder how that
No.
tomato farm is doing.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're trying to sell in like duty free stores and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
like in the pictures they were all like in like airports and like random places. Like they weren't in
Yeah.
like farmers markets. Like they were stuck next to Starbucks and stuff. It was really
Well,
weird.
I mean, it seems like, unless this is just an anime thing, but tomatoes are eaten like regular fruits in Japan, which is fucking weird, but
Yeah.
just bite into a tomato.
Anyways, next piece of news is actually pretty big. The 10th Manga Taisho Awards nominates 13 titles. The executive committee for the 10th Manga Taisho Awards listed this year's 13 nominated works on Monday. The official name of the awards is the Cartoon Grand Prize. And these Manga Taisho Awards are, I think, actually pretty original series from year to year. Like last year they did Golden Kamuy, which Nier enjoyed very much. Before that, it was Kakaka Shikachika. Before that, 2014, it was Oyome Katari, which is a Bright Story. Stuff like that. Silver
That
Spoon,
one's really
March
good
comes.
too.
Yeah. Silver Spoon, March comes in like a line. Like they don't pick, like whatever, like Love Life, blah blah blah, shit. Like they actually pick like legit series.
Wow,
So,
you call
yeah.
Love Live fucking not legit? Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking shit.
just a quick note. I am a Love Life fan, so please do not. If there are any other Love Life fans out there, please do not hate on me.
Please send all of your hate mail to Spire
Spire.
Wrecker.
Yeah.
I don't know Spire's email. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank God.
SpireWrecker@gmail.com.
Yeah. Anyways, so the nominees are Aoashi, by Yugo Kobayashi. I don't know what this is, but I'm just like gonna read off the titles.
Probably sports.
Yeah. Kanakai, it's like one of those probably like, oh, they bond through like playing sports together for like years or something like that. Like one of those series that have become super popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next is Karakai Josu no Takagi-san. I actually want to read through all of these sometime, just because like all of them are usually pretty like original ones.
I'm sure I'll read through one of these.
Karakai Josu no Takagi-san by Soichiro Yamamoto. Kin no Kuni Mizu no Kuni, which is I think Nao Iwamoto. Tay Dragons. Golden Gold. Seto
Whoa, golden gold? Who would have thunk?
Dungeon Meshi. This is one I think Toast has brought up. Ryoko Kui.
Can't prove that.
Shut the fuck up. Tokyo Tarareba Musume. Tokyo Tarareba Musume. By
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Where's Goblin Slayer?
Nami no Kite Kure. Hiroaki Samura. High Score Girl.
I've read some of this. The art's
Uh,
fucking hideous, but it's really funny.
Hibiki Shousetsuka ni naru hoho. The way to become a novelist, I think. That's how it's translated in English. Mitsuharu Yanamoto. Fire Punch. Tatsuki Fujimoto.
Fire Punch is weird.
Yakusoku no Neverland, The Promised Neverland by
Fire Punch.
Kayu Shirai. And Watashi no Shounen, Hitobi Takano. So, the nominated committee is composed mainly of bookstore staffers who are in charge of their respective store's manga. Any manga title that was released in 2016 and is 8 volumes or less is eligible. The volume cap is intentionally added so that the prize winners will be relatively new works that have not already earned their popularity through sheer longevity. Oh, I do like that actually. I really like that
So
condition.
no dungeon meshi or not? No goblin slayer. Wow, I feel robbed.
Yeah.
Man, fuck.
So these are I hope however I mean all of them seem pretty original and nice, fun. So whoever wins, oh, she might be a little bit sketchy, but
Fire Punch is fucking like. I can't even make sense of that shit, dude.
It's weird.
It's so fucking weird.
but yeah, watch out for whoever wins the Manga Taisho Awards, and we'll
Fire
we'll
Punch is
hopefully.
about a dude who lives in a snowland and he's always on fire and he's like burning himself to death. He's like the Human Torch except really sucky.
Yeah.
All right. So next piece of news. This is a pretty funny and kind of silly one, although kind of also serious in sense too. Uh, Japan's first CG child quote-unquote pornography defendant sentenced to 300,000 yen fine after appeal. 300,000 yen is approximately, I believe, $3,000 dollars,
Yeah,
right?
probably less. I think.
Yeah. Tokyo High Court met on Tuesday for the appeal trial of designer Akashi Takahashi, age 56, was convicted last year for creating and selling realistic computer graphic CG images of a naked underage girl. Presiding Judge Yoshifumi Asayama overturned the previous ruling and reduced Takahashi's sentence to 300,000 yen, or about US $2,600 fine. Asayama commented, in cases where the real image of the child has been drawn faithfully and can be reorganized, CG is also child pornography. However, because the source images are old, Asayama also said that the images presumably do not infringe on any children's rights. Why does it matter the images be old? Is he talking about like the ages of the children, or is he talking about the ages of like when the images were taken?
Probably the ages.
yeah.
Probably the age of the images.
Yeah, I was
Because
like,
if
why
the
does that matter then, bro? Like, what?
because if the pictures are so old that the children in the pictures are no longer children anymore,
It doesn't affect them
it
later
doesn't.
on, or yeah, okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
like fuck with their. Yeah.
Wait,
Some
so
weird
he
philosophy in the law.
made CG from like model after like the girls is what
Yes.
it's going on.
Apparently,
Okay.
the key word here is realistic. So
Okay. So
Japan,
I thought he just made them look realistic and didn't model them under like any specific girls. Like, but he actually like took like modeling books, which are like illegal essentially. uh, that's
I mean, Japan's always had the law of like, if it looks too realistic,
Yeah.
it's against the law.
yeah. Um.
Whether it's 2D or CG, it's
Should have put that fucking blurb.
That's
Said all these
pretty,
characters are 18.
this this is pretty funny though. Like, it's obviously disturbing like child pornography stuff, but it's like in a sense it's pretty funny because it's like it's sort of like like what happens like later on, especially like as VR stuff is coming up more and more now, and it's pretty obvious that I mean it was obvious before VR came out, but as VR comes out, it's more obvious that Japan is not using these for like Dota or anything like that, right? Like it's using them for other stuff.
That is one hell of a MOBA. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. it's like you see somebody, you see like
Shit,
that man is
comes to
like
the Steam store.
who did who the dude who was in the ad for the holographic like helper like home helper thing, right?
oh,
Yeah.
don't, please don't.
You see that person with like the VR set in an advertisement, and like his mother like barges into the room or whatever. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm playing League of
Okay,
Legends. It's like,
okay,
fuck.
she's
It's like, yeah, sure.
CG.
Yeah. um. But yeah,
Okay,
I think
Mom.
I think the lines are going to be more heavily drawn, especially since there's already like a pretty heavy, like significant, like 3D, like CG sort of porn market kind of thing going on, like this like weird market thing going
Yeah,
on.
it's weird.
So that plus like the integration of VR plus like this sort of thing happening, I think it's going to become a lot more like complicated these days.
Well, again, the keyword is realistic. It's just how the Japanese government decides to go about it.
Yeah, what is realistic and all that. Yeah, it's true. Um, next is another sort of funny series coming out, which is Love Kome. So this is obviously a sort of word pun on the Japanese use of the term love, Kome, which is rom-com, right? And then Kome, which is rice in Japanese. So Love Kome, subtitle We Love Rice. Original
Rice is
TV,
cool.
original TV anime anthropomorphizing rice as schoolboys premieres in April.
Oh, these are all
gross.
boys? Never mind.
Gross.
Dude, it's like Fujoshi Bay but with rice, dude.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh, there's one where his eyes are
Yeah, there's one
hidden
where
underneath his like bangs or whatever his hairs.
he's like an alien. Why are his eyes so spread apart?
Why is this dude's ahoge like red?
Fucking
It's like
racist.
on his like head. It's like red.
I think that's fire.
That's fine.
Fire
His head's
rice.
on fire, dude.
Yeah.
That's cooked
He's
rice.
fried rice.
Chan.
Spicy
so,
rice.
So they have a whole bunch
Fried
of
rice.
boys rice, anthropomorphized rice. I don't know what that even means, but I guess they just have a whole bunch of boys that are just like, wow, rice, yeah, eat it every day, kind of
Why are
thing.
they in red uniforms? If they're rice.
I guess that's the fetish. It's schools at the Kokuritsu Inaho Academy, or also known as Rice Ear Academy, a wordplay on national schools. Kokuritsu, yeah. 5 new rice-inspired students attempt to supplant bread as the popular grain at the school. The new students from the Love Rice unit and form the Love Rice unit and challenge themselves to perform at the Harvest Show to show the delicious appeal of rice grains. The heartwarming comedy with laughs of passion promise to let audiences rediscover the virtues of rice, Japan's soul food. So if you like rice, like a certain Love Live idol, and if you like boys partying rice, then check the series out. It's like Fujoshi bait, but it'll give you more carbs. Not that Fujoshis necessarily need to be more fat, but
I want one of them.
Wow.
I want one of them to say rice is nice in really bad English.
God,
It's
Can we?
Japanese lunchtime rush.
not like this. Not like this. All right, and the last piece of news before going to people stuff is New York. Just a little thing. New York Times will no longer publish bestseller lists for manga and graphic novels. So they started to publish it way back in 2009, under a bunch of different categories like hardcore graphic books, softcore graphic books, manga, stuff like that. And
That
what they
sounds
said,
pretty.
yeah, the Daniel Ha, New York Times vice president of communications, stated that some of the newspaper's book lists were introduced as an experiment, and that the lists being discontinued did not reach or resonate with many readers. The newspaper plans to quote unquote devote more space and resources to its coverage beyond bestseller lists, while still covering news about all book genres in print and online. Essentially, it's like not competing well against like everything else on the internet, so it's probably shutting it down. That's how it's saying it. So yeah,
Manga's dead, dude.
yeah.
Just
Comics
like
are
anime.
dead.
It's gonna be pretty
Everything's
funny to see how,
ruined.
it's gonna be pretty funny to see how like a lot of these sort of like Western sort of I guess quote unquote mainstream publisher slash newspaper people like take to everybody kind of people that are already in the know about like manga lists and stuff like that and like recommendations whatever stuff like that, right? Like they're all going on the internet. They're Everything is turning into like a digital edition and stuff like that, right? So nobody's really listening to New York Times whatever. Like I don't give a fuck, right? Like if I want BD sales or book lists or whatever, I'll just go on an aggregation site or some anything for BD sales like ranks or whatever. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they deal with that. Anyways, on the people news, we have 2 pieces of news. The first piece of news is that Aya Uchida, the voice actress behind, I believe, Kotori in Love Live, as well as some like other small series such as like I My Me and stuff like that, and Kimono Friends. She has recovered after a vocal cord surgery, which she first noticed last spring. So, wish her congratulations and the best of luck in her future endeavors. And then the second piece of news is that Ray, who is the singer for openings from Long Riders, To Love or Darkness, Waiting in the Summer, Wakaba Girl, Alcana, so on and so forth. She will apparently retire this summer and will seek other vocations. So again, wish her also the best of luck in her future career. And with that, we are done with the news, and we will now move to shoutouts and callouts. Again, shoutouts are just everybody gets one shoutout, one callout. Remember, and shoutouts. Shoutout is just one thing that you want to praise, talk up, do whatever. Whether it be a person, a series, whatever. And call out is the exact opposite. You know, you want to insult something, make fun of, etc., etc., etc. And it can be a trend, it can be a recent series, it can be Kyoani, whatever, right?
Gonna be you.
And and everybody again gets one shout out and one call out. And I guess I'll start off.
What if I want to start?
Cute. So I guess I'll start with call outs first. My call out is to actually machine translator stuff, where it's like I'm trying to, well, as some of you might know, I'm just trying to learn like some Japanese when I have time here and there, stuff like
Wow,
that.
weeaboo.
Nerd.
Wow. Found out. Exposed. Sorry, friends. So I'm trying to do like machine translations, especially with like visual novels and stuff like that. And
What are
freaking
you trying to? What are you? Sow Hollow Fragment?
what?
What was
Oh
that?
no! Not that sort of visual novel. It's something called Pramai Wars. It came out like a couple of years ago. But anyways, I freaking like been trying to get this thing to not like it when it like rips the text from the visual novel. Sometimes it'll do this thing where it's like it repeats the same line like 50 times, and then it like jumbles in with the other like 49 lines and shit like that. Like,
This
oh,
chair.
God,
This chair.
Have you?
yeah,
Have you? It's like rolling pasta dough, Spire. You got to run it through the machine several times. Sometimes in a completely different language in order to get it to stick.
translation funny shit. But yeah, I freaking hate how that works, and it's really annoying when I'm trying to do stuff. So call out to freaking this program, which still has the same problems it did like a million years ago when it was first made. So fuck you guys. And my shout out, huh? My shout out is honestly to oh, it's to the artist behind Konosuba. Uh, what was her name? Fuck.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
still
Me.
need you to send me that.
Name.
What do you mean? Send me that?
Send me the link. I don't have it anymore. Or is she
Oh,
not
okay,
taking
okay,
it
okay,
anymore?
okay, okay, okay. Give me a. Well, I'll do it. I'll do it afterwards.
All right.
After.
Well, yeah, I
But the artist behind the light novel original for Kono Subarashi Sekai ni Shikufuku, gifting this wonderful world with blessings, also nicknamed Konosuba. The artist is Mishima Kurone. She actually has opened up a Google poll on. So she wants to do more like drawing practice, which is great for her, right? And she's actually opened up a Google poll, which I will actually post in this chat, and I might actually post it on the podcast page later on, or like on the episode page, where she's taking requests for any characters that you might want to see drawn by her. So this can be, you just list like whatever series or franchise or whatever, and you list the character, and so on, like any other comments and stuff like that. So if you're interested in maybe seeing your character or your favorite character or whatever drawn in the style of Konosuba light novel, which is pretty good. Like like it's not like crappy. Like there's especially like when it goes into like shosetsu like web novel territory, they're pretty crappy. like drawings out there.
What if
Like,
I want a drawing from Dean in between artists?
I was about to say I want an in between cell.
get it to open up Google Doc. Like there's one like request, like after $10. But yeah, she again Mishima Kurone is opening up requests. So if you wanna send in a request, check it out. Obviously, try not to be a dick and like spam like 50 different requests. But like she's probably gonna get a lot of requests, but still, just so check it out. I wholly like back that. Like she's trying to do practice, great for her, and she's opening up requests to the audience. Like that's super cool. Anyway, that was my shout out call out. Dark, you're next.
Wow, fuck! I completely forgot what I was gonna shout out now.
Do you want me to go first?
Skip me. Yeah, go to Toast.
Yeah,
I gotta
okay,
remember
Toast.
this.
Shout out call.
My shout out is the Dark Side of Dimensions. It's pretty cool. I'm
Eh,
gonna watch it again.
Okay, I
Alright.
remember now.
I like Yu-Gi-Oh. My call out is to all the weirdos in the theater who was watching Dark Side of Dimensions with me.
Wait, why are they weirdos?
There was this one dude in front of me who like went up to me and my brother and was like, "How big of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan are you?" And I was like, "Oh my god, here we go."
And he made a cool pose.
Here we go. I'm a
You fucking rolled up your sleeve and there was a dual disc ready.
So
Like loser goes to the Shadow Realm.
how'd
my
you know
God.
that?
Oh Jesus. All right.
I mean, other than what Dark just said, my brother was like, "Oh, I'm a fan of the original series," and then the other dude was all like, "Oh, I've seen the original series, and it's good.
Please.
DX was also good, and I
I
hated
already don't want to
5Ds."
talk about this.
And I was all about to step in, but then the dude was like, "I also watched Dragon Ball Z. Do you know what Dragon Ball Z is?"
I already don't want to talk about this
You're
more
like,
than
never
Do
heard
you
of
know? Do you know what anime is?
And I was just and I was like, "Yes, we know what Dragon Ball is." And I asked him I asked him like, "How do you feel about Arc 5 in the current episodes?" And he's like, "What's that?" And then I was like, "Never mind.
You threw
Enjoy your
popcorn
movie."
at him and told him to fucking sit down, nerd.
All right. Is that
Should have
is
been
that all?
like, what's the link to your anime podcast?
Yeah. Is that is that all, Toast?
I mean, ugh, if we had arrived to the movie theater like maybe 30 minutes earlier, like I planned, we could have gone around dueling people and probably smacked his face to the ground. But unfortunately, we did not have the chance to do so.
All right.
So yes, weirdos,
All right.
and there was some smelly guy like in the couple of seats above
I mean,
us,
that's
could
not too
smell.
surprising. Like in these types of movies, there's always going to be some sort of well, even if it's not the sort of movie, there's probably going to be a sniper somewhere.
There was 6 people in the theater when I went to see Star Wars, including me and my dad.
Yeah, for some reason, like a lot of people kind of did it early, I guess, in a sense, and then
Yeah.
just like nobody kind of watched it afterwards, which is like pretty convenient for me too, because like I also ended up watching it later. Anyways, Nier.
I don't know. I guess shoutouts go to Little Witch Academia.
Okay.
Yes. It's real pretty. So I don't know. I was gonna talk about this earlier in the podcast, but
Yeah, I
didn't
kept
really
trying
get
to
much
ask.
of a chance to.
Well, you kind of you said it was a little bit different from what I said before the podcast. So I was talking with Nier, and he said or I asked him like, is this sort of like a film festival kind of thing where it's like they're
Yeah.
trying to kind of like show off their like visuals and whatever, like, but they're kind of doing it every episode.
I mean, they definitely are trying to show off the visuals. What I was kind of trying to say, I mean, I was kind of typing and writing at the same time when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say is like, I feel like Little Witch Academia is pretty much all to basically show off Trigger's chops. Like, pretty much every single like story thread is like, let's do something and then show off cool magic, and then look at our sick like
Let's
hand
say
drawn
something and then
fucking
magic. Yeah.
like our sick hand drawn particle effects. It's like, okay, I don't know. It's definitely one of the it's probably the prettiest show like this season, but I don't know. I kind of wish there was more. It's kind of like character interactions kind of devolve into Susie doing something with her fucking,
Right, like they don't really care about
and then
Laura.
Akko
Yeah.
freaking out, and then Latte being like the voice of reason, and it's like okie dokie. But yeah, it's cool. Shoutouts. It's pretty. It's definitely if you like animation,
If you like watching pretty things. Yes.
yeah, if you like watching flashing colors in front of your face, just check out Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and you call it?
I was gonna call out the Nintendo Switch again, but I don't think I will. Instead, maybe I'll just call out Nintendo as a whole, because they had a Nintendo Direct exclusively for Fire Emblem, and they announced a Fire Emblem mobile game, which
Woo!
is
I'm excited.
a
Can't wait.
gotcha game, but it's got Fire Emblem characters.
This is this is like with freaking Soul Calibur shit all over again. Like now, like at this point.
Yeah, but
At least for you, yeah.
they're doing like I don't understand what the gotcha is going to be for. I don't know if they're going to have a character gotcha or a weapon gotcha, like most, because most mobile games these days do weapon gotchas, right? Like they'll give you your party and then you gotcha for like weapons and shit. Except for Grand Blue, which has like fucking both, which is cancerous as shit. But because they're doing like a character vote, and you can vote for Fire Emblem characters throughout like all of the series.
Right.
And you know, of course, like obviously, fucking the popular characters from fucking Awakening are winning. But I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna like give you all the characters or what. But it's weird. It doesn't look very good. But it's English voiceover only,
Sick.
even in Japan.
We've got trouble. I can't wait.
Yeah, we've got trouble. They also announced a new like real Fire Emblem game, which is a remake of an old Fire Emblem game. So that also only has English voice acting.
Sick. So is Treehouse gonna ruin it?
Yeah, so we're probably gonna have memes.
We have even more trouble.
We're probably gonna have more ellipses, an entire fucking conversation of ellipses. We're probably gonna have more. That means I love you in Dragon. More typos. Cool shit. Fuck Nintendo. Like for real. I don't know what I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their plan is.
Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. They also showed off the Fire Emblem Muso, which a lot of people have been like, yeah, Fire Emblem Muso, just do it. There's so many characters. They've like only showed Crom. And Koei Tecmo announced Dynasty Warriors 9 like 2 months ago, and when a new number Dynasty Warriors comes out, it's usually with a new engine, which means they have a new engine, but Fire Emblem Muso isn't using that new engine, so it's pretty ugly. So that's whatever. I don't understand what Nintendo's trying to do, because they came out recently and they said the Nintendo Switch has a whopping 5 launch titles.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes,
What?
five launch titles.
I don't even know if that's on launch. I think that might just
Yes,
be launch
that is-
window as well.
That's 5 titles on launch. There's like
Okay.
10 launch window.
How many are actual games?
one of which-
How many of them are in Skyrim?
One of which is Zelda. One of which is Just Dance 2017.
Gross.
One of which is Bomberman.
Okay.
The other one is ARMS,
Yeah.
and the other one is 1-2 Switch, which
Yeah,
uh,
Switch.
for some reason 1-2 Switch is a $60 game and is not included with the Nintendo Switch.
Excuse me?
Milk that cow.
It's not even a fucking video game.
Yes,
What the fuck?
it is a separate video game that does not come with Nintendo Switch.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it. Like, it's not a game. Like, it's not a video game.
Yeah, I don't understand. It should be like the Wii Sports of the Switch, but it is a separate thing that you have to pay money
No
for.
one's gonna buy that. There's what the fuck.
Not
There's
like
like I think 20 something confirmed titles in the next year for the Switch. Whatever. Fuck.
All right.
Like it's dead on arrival.
yeah, it's definitely worthy of a call out at
Oh
least.
yeah, that was the thing that really got me mad. When asked why they have so few launch titles, and then the interviewer was like, "The Wii U had 24 or something like that, titles on launch." Reggie, the one and only, the meme man,
Yes. Go
he said, "It's not about the launch."
what does that mean?
It's about the
What does that mean?
longevity. Because over
he
time, that
means
console's just getting
it
worse
means-
and worse.
Nintendo has no idea how to do any business practices because a console's launch is the most important fucking part of the entire life cycle.
Yeah, what? Like, it's you
Yeah.
sell like
If you
90% of your fucking
If you
consoles.
do not have a good launch, you're not selling consoles. Look at the Xbox One, right? Like,
Yeah, there's no chance that it's coming anywhere near touching the PS4 by sales.
Yeah. 5 games.
No, it's because it's not a lot, guys.
It's not
It's
about
not
the
about the
launch.
launch.
Listen,
No.
listen.
We
I think it's also worth
we just
noting
don't
that,
need to sell consoles. It's not about the launch.
that all those people who are impulse buying the consoles are helping them way too much because Nintendo's also not selling the Switch at a loss. Apparently.
Yeah.
If
Well, probably because they only have 5 fucking games at launch.
yeah, no, yeah, but what I'm saying is like the actual like internals and shit, like they're not selling that console at a loss like everyone else does.
Yeah, I know.
So, well, yeah, I guess you're right. Like they don't have the software to fucking support it, so
Yeah. They don't have any
they have
games.
to sell something.
So
Out of
they have to make a profit on something.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. So that was Nier's pretty good call out.
Fucking hate Nintendo, dude.
And Dark, we come back to you.
All right, my shout out is gonna be similar in that I'm gonna shout out Little Witch Academia for having the guest star of Chumley from Pawn Stars in it. Like legit. Like it's
Yeah, I
him.
saw that.
It's the voice actor that does him in the dub too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your call out?
My call out's gonna be to Nier.
Wait,
Her fucking voice.
Okay.
Jerk.
All right. And with that, we are done with the shoutouts and callouts. Again, thank you all everybody for listening in. Next episode, we will probably cover, hopefully if Nier watches it, we will cover ACCA and some of the other series.
Handshakers. Next episode.
Yes,
Look forward to
handshakers.
it.
We're going to cover more handshakers. Dear God. But again, if you do like what we
Cover
do,
handshakers right now. Shit.
shake hands right
Yeah, but
now.
it goes deeper than that.
Fuck, man. Anyways, for those of you who do like what we do this every other Saturday at 10 p.m., starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about the latest and greatest in anime, manga, what novels, web novels, visual novels, so on and so forth, Japanese media. And we do this we do this at our site at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's for the number 4. Again, if you do like what we do, follow us here, as well as our social media where we give our updates and events, whatever, at Twitter handle at 4PlayerAnimecast and Facebook 4PlayerAnimecast. And we have our own site 4PlayerAnimecast.moe, where we store all of our podcasts and previous episodes and stuff like that, so you can watch them there, as well as on our Twitch page VODs and stuff like that. So yeah, watch, share, follow us if you like what we do, and as always, we'll see you next time.
It's time to duel.